Hi, I'm Rob Hoffman, and today I wanted to give a review of my most recent piano purchase. It's a Hallet Davis and Co. HS 188 EP. I purchased this in June, and this is now February. It has had its second tuning. It is stabilized in the home, so it's now to a point where I can start giving you the pros and cons of the piano. I'm going to start with the piano market is incredibly murky, and when you go to buy one, you need to do a little research. The Hallet Davis and Company is a nice American name. It is the oldest piano manufacturer in the United States who's been out of business for well over 100 years. That said, you need to find out who is manufacturing the piano. The Signature Series, which this is, has been manufactured by Pearl River Pianos since 2015. A Google search will tell you all this information. This review pertains to the HS 188 EP manufactured by Pearl River. And do this research if this is in the future. Make sure that it pertains to the piano you're looking at. Going through some of the things I like about the piano, it has a wonderful, wonderful sustain. You hold the keys down, I put them on a timer, and this doesn't die completely off for about a minute. At least to my ears, it's a minute. What that does is that gives you nice harmonics within the piano. When you play a musical instrument like this with all the different strings in there, everything works together to produce the music. It's not a single note you're playing. It is other notes following through. Holding these down, for example, these notes here are still playing. They're resonating in harmony with what I just played. And that's what gives the piano its full, rich sound. This piano sustains incredibly well. Something the larger the piano you're going to run into. I also loved the rich, deep bass it has. It has the boom. You want to give it a boom, but it has a nice, mellow tone throughout. The treble has that bell-like overtone, and that's because of the eloquent bar that it has built into it, which I'm sure most pianos of this size have. This is the first one I've ever owned that's had it, and it gives it an entirely different sound with the overtones built in. Another thing I like about this piano are the sharps. These, I'm going to guess, are real ebony. I've not played that many different pianos, but it has a texture to the keys that you don't feel on your lower end pianos. That just it gives it a good feeling when you play it. One other thing I liked about this piano is the key depth. When you push down, technical terms, there's an aftertouch there. This one is a little bit shorter than my old piano. That sounds like I would have less control, but it actually gives me more control in the tone as I play. And I can make it whisper, and that's really great. It's a very expressive piano. That's kind of the pros from here. There's a few cons about this piano that I'm going to go into a little more detail with. I'm going to grab the camera so you can see firsthand what I'm talking about. Okay, our first con is in the music rack, which is a very nice music stand, but looking behind it, it is a 3-position stand. My old Grand had 5 positions, and it was nice. I could fine-tune this to my music book. This one, it's not quite where I want it to be. Also, the shape of it is a little more flat, a little more dead design. You may like that. I like a little bit more artsy version of it. What I do like, though, is it has a metal track coming out of the piano. That's great for the simple fact that as I pull it in and out, it's easier to line up. It has a slow close fall board, which fall boards today are not heavy like they used to be, but it's still nice if you have small children in the house. They're not going to pinch their fingers if they walk by. One other thing that I've learned since, this is smooth all across the top. It's molded or it's cut from a single piece of wood. A lot of your pianos, that you'll find that it's got a ridge on it. That's because it comes from two different pieces of wood. Now I'm going to pull off the sound or the music stand and go on a little bit on the inside of it. Okay, looking inside now, move that out of the way. It is stamped with GP 188A. Now this would be the Pearl River model number of the harp that's underneath this. So again, if you're looking at a GP 188A by Pearl River, this review is going to be very, very close to what you're going to discover in the piano itself. The longest bass string on this is 53 point something inches, so definitely over 4 foot long, which is nice. They've done the finish on this in a different shade than I'm used to. It's a different shade of brass. I'm sure they've painted it. It's almost an orangish shade. Whether you like that or not, that's kind of how it is. Okay, now turning to the lid. It has a real nice edge work on it, which just looks nice in the room. Now, this is not an uncommon thing in your higher end pianos. I'm hoping you can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay, opening that back up. Propping it up. It has the short stick and the long stick, which is standard. Getting a little bit more of a view of the Eloquent bar, which is in here. The notes are strung here. That's where the striking length. And this section here is for the additional harmonics inside the piano, which runs down. The casework on it, it's a high polished ebony, which that's something I did not care for. I really wanted more of a wood tone, only because it shoots better in video. It's got a nice long profile to it, if I can zoom this out. Back up a little. Okay, now moving back in. There's one glitch that I found in the piano that the tuner's worked on, but needs a little help. Right here at the break, you can see this first damper is cut, and it's having a little struggle dampening. The one on the other side does not. And next time he comes, I'll have to have him ream that a little bit more. It's far better than it was. I did not notice that in the store, but by the time I got playing on it for about a week, it started getting obvious that there was a problem there. That's not unusual. No piano is going to be perfect out of the factory. There's always going to be some issues. Other than that, I'm fairly pleased. I have not pulled the action itself out. I'll probably do that at some point. It's kind of murky on who made the hammers here, if it's a Renner action or what. They just specify German felt, so it's probably not name brand. But overall, I'm really pleased with the purchase, and it's a pleasure to play it. I can't say how much I enjoy sitting and playing now. My old piano, it was 20 years old and it was in need of a serious regulation, which BHA did after they took it in on trade. I heard the demo of the piano, and that really surprised me how good it sounded once it had been gone over. But they put some time and money in it. It's off their website now, so it's been sold. To wrap up on this piano, I've given you kind of the pros and the cons of it. Some things to look for if you're out shopping. Definitely do a little research before you buy anything. And sit and play. The biggest thing is, does it feel good to you to play it? If it does, then it's probably a good purchase. I want to give 2 shout outs though. First one, to start this whole journey, I found Brigham Larson, and he is in Orem, Utah. And he did a review of a piano I actually started the search with. And he helped me through all of this. When the Hallet Davis went up on BHA's website, he had done a review on them. He hadn't talked about this model, but he talked about the next model down, the 170, HS 170, which is a 5'8". He has it in his conservatory, and he really went on about the warm tone of the piano and how much he liked it. And that helped me. And when I went to play this one at BHA, Jim, who was our salesman, he didn't pressure me in any way. This is my second shout out, by the way. BHA in Dayton, Ohio. If you're within driving distance and you're shopping, that's a good place to go. They have a wonderful selection. If you're in Utah or driving distance to that, please go see Brigham Larson. I didn't buy a piano from that man, but he helped me make my purchase. Anyway, that's really all I want to say about this. I did upgrade this with a QRS player system. It's solenoid based, and I'll be doing a review on that in an upcoming episode of reviews. But for now, I think I'll wrap this up. Other than to say the price on this piano, I'm not going to reveal it because the prices are all over the place. But I was looking at a used Kawai. I don't know the model number, but it was a 7-foot semi-concert. I was looking at a Baldwin Model L, and this piano brand new was priced within the range of those. It also was priced within reason of a Broadman, which I did like. It just was a little bit too bright. So that gives you an idea of the range we're looking at. I'll just say I paid less than $15,000 for it. Anyway, I hope this helps you. Any questions, feel free to make a comment or two and I'll try to answer. But I'll be limited more to this piano. I will tell you though, I'm extremely pleased with my purchase and I don't regret it. Have a great day.